Hey friends, so today I'm going to show you how to make Mullein candles, also known as Hag Tapers. So it is October and there is a holiday that utilizes Mullein and Hag Tapers for some of their observance. It is called Samhain, spelled S-A-M-H-A-I-N, right? I definitely encourage you to go and really read some about this. It's where Halloween and some of that stuff started. It is a Celtic observance holiday, but the Celtic New Year starts the next day. I don't know a ton about the holiday, so I don't want to show any disrespect by giving any false information about it. So as we're making these, I'm going to be talking to you about the few things that I do know. Alright guys, so what you're going to need for this is you're going to need your Mullein stalk, okay? Big ones or the smaller ones. Mine came from the Catskill Mountains in New York. And then you're going to need beeswax, right? So this is what I get. I get off Amazon, organic white beeswax. I have mugwort. It's the herb stomp. It's offline. This organic rosemary. I didn't have any, right? So I got it from the grocery store. It's just what I got. My rosemary died, so I didn't have any of that. And then this is just one little piece of elderflower that I had from last year when I picked some elderflowers. And then my sage and my yarrow are grown. My yarrow is here and my sage is from Tennessee. So, okay, so this is some elderflower that I have left from last summer. So we are just gonna take some of these off and add this in here. I forgot to grab these. Get them ready. Okay, and we'll save a little bit on there for next time. So again, rosemary for remembrance. And then your mugwort, your yarrow, and your sage are protection. And then your elderflower also helps bridge the gap between the living and the dead. So let me grab our wax. So wax, this has been a fun experience for me. Please do not think anything I say is necessarily set in stone. I am still learning, and you gotta kind of figure this out. Like, the wax is interesting because you don't want it super hot and thin, right? Because then it just runs right past your candle. But it can't be too cool because then it ain't gonna spread. So I like mine when it starts creating like a circle back around the rim. Do you kind of see how like I had melted it and now it's starting to harden again? And this seems to work pretty good for me because I use my hands. Probably crazy to do it that way. You guys can use gloves or silicone gloves. If you have a bowl big enough, that works. Sometimes I just stick these down in there when I'm doing just small ones. But either way, this is how the wax is good. Okay, so we're gonna start with some of these smaller ones so that it's a little bit easier for me to show you, because these big guys are just gonna take a little bit longer. So I'm gonna start with this one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just gonna barely pour this on top of it, right? But then what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll it in this wax, right? Just roll it in the wax. Roll it in the wax and then kind of smush it. And then it kind of gives you like, you know, it's kind of sticky to it, right? It's not super pretty, but we want to get it all over it, and we're going to do a few layers on it. So we're going to do that. We're going to set that one right there to dry. Let's get one of these bigger ones, okay? We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of pour it over it, top a little bit. This is a little bigger, so I'm going to turn it as I do it. And then we're just going to roll it again. Kind of smush it down in there. Because you got these seeds. The Mullein stalk has seeds on it. And so you got to get the candle all down in there, but it's definitely not easy to do. Okay. And then again, you see you got that kind of missing some spots, definitely. But again, we're going to do a few coats. And it goes pretty quick, right? One thing that's a good idea, if you have it, is to have more than one thing of beeswax going. I'm going to throw this in for 30 seconds. And as I'm making these candles, you know, I definitely, this video, I'm talking to you guys and I'm kind of explaining some things, but, you know, a lot of, well, most all of herbal work and things like that are intention based, right? So I usually like to have something burning. This is my own little smudge stick I made. I don't sell these because I'm not great at that. So, but this is just a smudge stick I made with some sage from my aunt's yard, and I've cleansed the rest of the house. If you listen, it's quiet. Lola's asleep. Steven's doing his thing. The rest of the kids are at school. So it's been a really good chance for me to take this time to set my intentions with what I'm doing. I always like to have the most pure and kind and just positive energy that I can when I'm making things, especially things that I'm selling for other people. I believe that energy definitely can rub off on these things and transfer to you, and I don't want that for you. I've lost a lot of people in my life, and death never gets easier, but making these Mullein candles is a really cool thing for me, and for anybody that does enjoy them. You know, it definitely want to hear stories. If anybody does end up getting Mullein candles or have had Mullein candles, and I'm a little share your experiences with me, right? So let's check this out. And there you go, 30 seconds, we're back at it. So we're just gonna kind of give it just a second to get a little bit cooler. I'm gonna grab a bowl. So I'm gonna use this bowl because it is easier to mix all of your herbs together, right? So I'm gonna take some of this sage. I'm gonna take some of my yarrow, and my mugwort, my rosemary, and I'm just gonna mix it up, right? Just make it a little easier to, because this next coating, because the thing is, guys, the Mullein is gonna burn on its own. You don't have to have tons of beeswax on here. You don't need a ton of it. It's not really a certain amount. It really just depends on kind of how you want it to burn. The wax just kind of, I think, maybe slows it down a little. Again, I'm not a professional. This is coming from the heart, guys. This is something that I wanted to learn to do. I know what my herbs mean, and I know about the holiday and the observance and what I want from it. My intentions are set, and so Google is your best friend. Yeah. All right, so this is about ready. So we're going to start with our small one, and we're going to go see how I have all this wax here, because as the hot wax hits it, a little bit more melts, right? So we're just going to, and what I do the second time is I usually try to find the places that missed and make sure I pour on those. Make sure we get those really good. See, this is a little bit warmer than the last time, so I'll burn myself here. Okay. Ooh-wee. Too hot. Rub that in there. All right, and then now we're gonna drop it in here, right? I'm just gonna roll this bad boy around. Let it get as much on there as it can, because it ain't gonna stay like that, right? It's not. And then what I do is protection, positivity, love for your ancestors, people you've lost, sacrifices made. I just think it's a really cool thing, guys. I want to have the best intentions for you. Definitely comes from my heart. I hope you know that. I mean that with everything. So this one's good. All right, let's see. I'm going to kind of get some of this and put it back in here. And these are silicone mats, like I showed you. I didn't have these in first. I used parchment paper. So if you have parchment paper and that's what you got, better to start with what you got than to not start at all. Something I've definitely learned on this journey. And so if you just got parchment paper, wax paper, a plate, a bowl, if you have a big enough bowl to stick these guys in, and do that. So this over here, let's see, we're gonna pour, especially in all of our blank spots, because this is melting really good. It's at a good place where it's not all rolling off, and that's what you want, because a lot of times it rolls off and then you're having to smush it. But then if you wait too long, it really gets, it gets too hard or too soft, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Get down there. All right, and then again, this one is a little bigger, so it ain't gonna fit in my thing, so I'm gonna use my hands and just kind of these things don't have to be pretty, guys. It's about the intention set, where it's coming from. That is what is important. And you don't have to use all the herbs, guys. If you want to, you just want to use sage. If sage is all you got, guess what? Use sage. You got yarrow. Use yarrow. If you don't have any of these things, like mullein itself and your prayer and your intention is still better than not having it all. So if you want something to do with your mullein stalks, then I definitely suggest it, okay? All right, so now we got our two here that are, hardening. All right, so I got my beeswax melted, and we're kind of waiting for it to get to that pouring consistency that I was talking about. But I want to show you another trick. So how do you make these little ones, right? This is a really cool way. You can kind of like stick it on these little corn cob things, and while it's melting, you can go ahead and stick these bad boys down in there and get it on them. You just, let me show you. So you just got on here, and you just kind of stir it, stick it in there. Just give it a second, right? Just blow on it, however. Okay, and then we're just gonna get these lovely tongs, or you can use tongs. Same thing. Get it, dip it down in there, and just pick it back up. We're doing the same thing like we did the others, waiting for them to, you know, get hard, and then we'll do it again. So I just wanted to show you those little tricks. Make sure you know, work smarter, not harder. All right, and so the last thing we're gonna do to these, while we are waiting for those to get hard to dip them again, so we got this loose herb on here, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour a little bit of this over it. It's hot still, but we're not using a whole lot, and we're just kind of keeping the herb to stay. So we're just gonna put it on there a little bit like that, and then just roll it around in there. And some of your herbs are gonna fall off, guys, but don't panic. Be all right. You just want to have a nice little coating on there, okay? And then you're gonna set that aside, and the same thing with this one. And yes, I have clumps of beeswax in here. I'm not patient, you guys. Probably not the best to teach, but I feel like I can teach in a little more layman's terms. I think that some of these people are way too smart for me out there, and I don't understand the words that they say. So you guys aren't gonna get big words from me unless I know what they mean and I can tell you in my terms, because again, if it's too complicated, I ain't got time for that. Come on, stay right here. Can't get it on this one spot. There we go. Same thing right here. I'm just gonna roll mine, smush it around. You just kind of do it. There's really no wrong or right way to do this, right? This is, again, intentions. What is best for you? Now, these ones are hard again. And actually, what I'm gonna do is, I still have some of this right here that's kind of soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this in this, and then put it in my herbs really quick, right? Because these ones are small. They're easy to kind of do. And see, and that one, just squeeze it around there. Okay, same thing with this one. We're gonna run it over this soft stuff. Get it on here, get it where it'll stick. I'm gonna put it in the herbs. Okay, smush it around. Squeeze it in there. Okay. All right, now last step again. We're gonna pour this over kind of coat it to keep our herbs from coming off, right? We want them to stay. They're intentionally placed, so we want them to stay. Just roll that bad boy over there. I'll do it again. Oops, it's running away from me. I didn't even realize it. It's all over here. And it's not super hot, guys. Like, it is hot, but it's not burning me. Like, I also have working hands, so my hands are calloused. So, I don't know. I guess it's different. But, okay. Alright, so, you guys get the gist of it? It's not that hard. Again, you want to set your intentions. Anything that you make spiritually, it definitely matters. The environment you're in, the energy you have, your intentions. You're making this for someone that they're going to use for something. In this case, most likely remembrance. You know, something that is dear to their soul. So it's very important how you feel about it. If you don't have pure intentions, if it's not something you believe, even if you don't necessarily believe in it 100%, you must accept and when you do these things. You know, you have to make sure that your mind is in the right place, right? So I wanted to tell you a few more things about Mullein while we're waiting for this. In Samhain, they believed how these torches came out and fire and things into this holiday is because they believed that evil spirits were on the streets with their ancestors. And so what they did was they would burn a fire in either a hearth indoors or a bonfire outside because fire wards off evil spirits, right? And so, and any unwanted energy. And Mullein has long been used in sacred fires for many, many years. And so when you burn Mullein, it has your protection, but it also thins that veil between the dead and the undead and protects against any negative like influences and things like that. And burning herbs is one of the best ways to send your intentions into the universe. So Mullein is amazing. It is one of my favorite herbs. It has a lot of medicinal benefits as well. I definitely encourage you to look at that or find more videos of mine. I'm still new to making the videos and the how-to, so I hope that this was easy to understand. I hope that it was clear for you, and if you have any questions, let me know. Find me on one of my social medias. Reach out to me and ask me, because this is my journey, guys. This is just one of the things that I've done to heal my soul and my soul journey and find myself is with these spiritual things. And so I hope that some of you take advantage. I hope that you make some Mullein candles, and yeah, happy Samhain.